Elina and Michael had been married for 7 years, living a quiet life in their HOA-controlled neighborhood of Maple Grove. Their days were predictable, Michael working long hours, Elina managing freelance projects from home, and weekends filled with HOA meetings and polite small talk with neighbors. But on this warm summer night, everything changed. It was just past midnight when Elina sat in the living room, scrolling aimlessly through her phone. The house was quiet except for the faint hum of the air conditioner. Michael had been in the garage for hours, working on what he called a small project. She had almost drifted to sleep on the couch when a sharp, chilling scream tore through the silence, loud, guttural, and coming straight from the garage. She froze. Her phone slipped from her hand onto the carpet as her heart pounded in her chest. "Michael," she called out softly, her voice trembling. No answer. She stood, legs shaken, and walked toward the garage door, clutching her phone like a lifeline. When she pushed the door open, her breath caught in her throat. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, Michael stood in the middle of the garage, shirt soaked in dark red stains. Sweat dripped down his temple as his hands clutched a shovel, knuckles white. His chest rose and fell rapidly. "Elina," Michael said, his voice low and shaky. "Go back inside." Elina's eyes widened. "Michael, what did you do?" Her voice cracked as panic washed over her. His eyes darted toward her, pain and frustration flickering across his face. "Please, just go back inside." Terror gripped her. She stumbled backward, slammed the door shut, and ran into the living room. Her hands shook violently as she grabbed her phone. 911. She whispered, dialing. "Please, my husband. I think my husband just killed someone. There's blood everywhere. He's in the garage. Please, send someone, please." Within minutes, the quiet cul-de-sac erupted in flashing red and blue lights. Police cruisers screeched to a stop in front of the house. Neighbors peeked from their windows, some stepping out onto their porches with phones in hand, recording every moment. "Sir, drop the shovel. Hands where we can see them," an officer shouted. Michael, stunned, dropped the shovel and raised his trembling hands. "You don't understand," he yelled, desperation in his voice. "I didn't kill anyone." Elina stood frozen on the porch, tears streaming down her face. "Then why is there blood, Michael? Why?" The neighborhood came alive with whispers and hushed conversations. "I knew something was off about him," Mrs. Parker from across the street muttered to another neighbor. "Didn't he argue with that guy from Lot 14 last week?" Someone else added, their phones still recording. Detectives arrived, stepping carefully into the garage while officers questioned Elina in the living room. Her words tumbled out in panicked fragments. "I heard the scream. Then I saw him, the blood, the shovel. I didn't know what else to think." Outside, Michael sat in the back of a patrol car, his head in his hands. When the detective approached him, his voice cracked with emotion. "It's not what it looks like. Mrs. Green's dog, Buddy, he got hit by a car. I heard the thud, ran out, tried to help him, but his voice broke. I couldn't save him. The scream you heard, that was me. I was angry, helpless." The detective hesitated, then stepped back into the garage. Moments later, he returned holding a small, blood-stained towel wrapped around the lifeless body of the neighborhood's beloved golden retriever. Inside, Elina's sobs quieted as the detective explained. "Ma'am, your husband is telling the truth. He tried to save the dog. There's no crime here." The weight of her mistake crushed her. She turned toward Michael as they removed the cuffs from his wrists. "Michael, I didn't know," she whispered, but he said nothing. He walked past her, silent, his face cold and unreadable. By morning, the neighborhood buzzed with gossip. At the emergency HOA meeting, the president, Mr. Thompson, cleared his throat and addressed the crowd. "Regardless of the misunderstanding, this incident has disrupted our community. From now on, no garage activity after 10 p.m., noise curfews will be strictly enforced." Snickers and whispers followed. One neighbor smirked and muttered, just loud enough for Elina to hear, "Maybe next time, call us before you call the cops." The words stung, but she said nothing. That evening, Elina sat on the porch steps, staring down the quiet street. Michael joined her, sitting silently a few feet away. She wanted to apologize, to explain, but the space between them felt heavy and unmovable. The trust they had built over 7 years now cracked, fragile. As the neighborhood lights flickered on one by one, everything looked calm again, perfectly quiet. But just beyond the glow of the streetlights, a shadowy figure moved along the sidewalk, slipping between houses, watching, waiting.